and they've got, up to 41 countries. And this stuff's been tried in the past against the United States. Now, in the past, it was single countries, smaller countries. Iraq, Saddam Hussein tried it. Now, he ended up dead. Now, the story was because of uh, weapons of mass destruction. But he also wanted to break away from the dollar. That was probably his biggest crime. Same with Muammar Gaddafi. He wanted to do the same thing. Obama took him out. Said, can't blame the United States for being a partisan issue. Both Democrats and Republican administrations will do what they need to do to defend the almighty dollar. So W. Bush did it. Obama did it. You can bet your bottom dollar. Biden is going to do it too. Now, he may not do it, but whoever's pulling his strings will do it. But this time it is a little different. And I know that phrase gets you in trouble sometimes, but you've got 41 countries along with the original 5 members, and their combined GDP is now greater than the G7. So this is a unique challenge. What's getting ready to happen here, and we've
Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. Shout against her round about, she hath given her hand, her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of the Lord. Take vengeance upon her, as she hath done, do unto her.
Shalom, all praises, glory, honor, and fear, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahar Kwadash, love, empowerment, enlightenment to the Lord's elect, the house of David, the bride, and judgments to all the wicked, all the false ones. Now, the Lord said to warn and admonish, and that's what we're also to do as watchmen. And as you can see, the Third World War is coming quickly, as in Revelation. So all these things are happening because the end is at hand. So and when we go to the book of Ezekiel, right, all these things are being spoken through the scriptures, and it's happening in real time in this geopolitical and the nations and the kings and the kingdoms of the world. They're all going towards the same direction, which is desolation, which is destruction and judgment, you see. So this is Jeremiah 6:17. Also I set watchmen over you, saying, hearken to the sound of the trumpet. But they said, we will not hearken. Now the trumpet is us showing our people their sins and telling them to repent, to change their mind. And a part of the trumpet as well is letting our people know that war is coming, change is happening, And the third woe cometh quickly. It's our redemption is nearer than what we even realize. Revelation 11:14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Right, the Third World War. So all these things have already been prophesied by the Lord and the prophets, and they're happening now. You see. That's why in the Gospels, many prophets have desired to see these things and hear them, but they haven't, but we are, you see. So we're literally witnessing and watching the downfall of the wicked, the judgment of our enemies, which Lord said there's nothing greater than that, than to see the downfall of one's enemies. So Satan's kingdom is divided. And this whole thing with the BRICS is all of the Lord, is prophecy being fulfilled. The book of Revelation, (8 and 13), it says, and I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, woe, 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 See, that's three world woes, three destructions. This is the third one, the final one. Because now, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna put that video I use in the intro in the description. I definitely suggest all you beloveds go and watch that, because it's really telling you exactly what's happening and what's going on. And Babylon the Great, which is America, are actually running out of ammunition. Low level ammunition. So what they're gonna do, they're just gonna start using their big ammunition. You see, which is nuclear weapons. They're not. The Lord created the smith. He created these weapons for this time to be used. It says to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the three angels which are yet to sound. You see. So we have the victory, and that's why when you go to Revelation 15 in verse 1, it says a scene of heaven. It says, and I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues. And this is a plague, the war that's about to happen with all these nations. Because just like he said, when Gaddafi, when bin Laden, when they opposed themselves against the dollar, they were met with war. They were met with terrorism from Babylon the Great, from the whore that rides upon the beast, Europe, EU, and everything, NATO. And but now it's different, because it's not just one country, it's not just one leader, where they can bully. It's now Russia, China, India, Brazil, South Africa, and then there's 41 other countries that are applied to be a part of it, man. So prophecies are being filled, and we're gonna go to Habakkuk 2 as well. And when you actually look up like BRICS prophecy in the YouTube search engine, like it's very, very small amount of like edifying lessons is to tell you what's going on right now, because a lot of people aren't in the spirit. Revelation 15:1, and I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of power. Now let me get the book of this shall be the plague. And this is a part of these final plagues that the Lord's going to pour upon the earth. He's going to pour upon the wicked. So this is Zechariah 14 in verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. You see that? Like Sarah O'Connell from The Terminator. That's a perfect example. You see? And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from Yahweh shall be among them, and they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. You see? So this is what's occurring right now. Nation against nation. Let's get exactly what Yahweh Shai said. Kingdom against kingdom. So at this point, it's Yahweh Shai that's taking it from here. This is why these things are coming to pass. These kings, they're in the same spirit of Pharaoh, which was proud and arrogant, and it's the Lord that's hardened Pharaoh's heart, right? Hardened. No repentance. Same thing with all these leaders, And let me say something too, like China and Russia and all these, they're not good either, They're not good either, because China, they want to change certain stuff in the Bible, that goes against their communism. So it's all prophecy, man. The Lord is taking it from here. This is Mark 13 and verse 8. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, right? They're rising against them economically. And then it's going to, he just told you, right? What happened in the past, it's going to happen now again, just like Gaddafi, just like bin Laden. There was death, there was war that came from it. So the same thing's gonna happen. They don't change. They're the same thing. They're the same kind of rulers and wicked. All right. All they know is death. Okay. And evil. All right. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows. And in Chile, they're looting. They're looting because of inflation. They're looting because of it's happening, man. When you look upon the whole world, it's happening everywhere. The judgments, famines, the inflation, the earthquakes, the fires, the floods, it's happening everywhere. You see, and I'm gonna go to Isaiah 19:2, but let me go back to Revelation 15:2. It says, and I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, right? The sea of glass. The firmament is gonna be mingled with fire. It says, and them that had gone the victory over the beast, right? This is the beast rising up. The beast system, the new world order. You know, they're gonna try to bring order in the midst of all this chaos and confusion. You see, so it's heavy how they call themselves BRICS. At first it was BRIC, B-R-I-C, right? It didn't have South Africa, but now they do have Africa. And then you see, when you look what's happening in the continent of Africa, like that dude, which, you know, what's that guy? I like him though, but he's from Africa. I forget the country. It's a very, very unknown country in Africa, but it's like next to Nigeria. Yeah. But yeah, matter of fact, let me just get the name of this guy. He's the youngest leader in Africa. He's like 34 years old. Yeah, let's see, Africa's youngest president is just 34, and he's already talking tough. Captain Ibrahim Traore. Burkina, okay? Burkina Faso, right? So there's a lot going on right now. Let me go back to the scriptures. It's heavy. But yeah, so let's go to Genesis 11. Yeah, let's go to Genesis 11 because now it's BRICS, plural, and now it's not just South Africa, because just yesterday and today they're having like meetings and you know, they're doing stage stuff in Johannesburg, right? So it's heavy. Prophecies being filled. Genesis 11 and verse 1. So remember, it was first, it was just BRIC, B-R-I-C, Brazil, Russia, Iran, India, Iran. Iran wants to be a part of it. But it's Brazil, Russia, India, and China. But now it's South Africa as well. See, now it's a hand. Now that's the power. 5 is symbolic of power, and it's your whole hand, all the fingers of your hand. So it's symbolic of power. And now you have 41 other countries want to join, so it's heavy. So now it's BRICS, plural. So Genesis 11, right? They use what? They use BRICS, you see? So Genesis 11 is universal language, Babel, confusion, right? It's not going to stick. It's not going to work out how the East wants it to. It's not going to work out how the West wants it to. They're both going to lose, you see? And Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and the elect, we're going to win. And the kingdom shall, and it goes into prophecy. And we're going to go to the book of Daniel too. We're going to go to the book of Daniel because that's prophecy being fulfilled right now as well. Genesis 11. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. You see that? So the same thing is occurring now. And they have a tower of bricks in China already built. Right. The BRICS headquarters is located in Shanghai, China. All right, and it's a tower. All right. So let's go back to Genesis 11, and it's going to show you what the Lord and what the angels did to this. You see, and he's going to say that he's doing the same thing now, okay? Genesis 11, see, the Lord said, Yahweh Shai is the same yesterday, today, and forever. The Lord changes not, therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. Because at the end of the day, all these nations and kings want to do, they want to consume Jacob. They want to misuse, they want to enslave, they want to get the gold, you know? They want to get the riches of the earth, which is it's hidden. It's Israel, bro. So when you go into studying the Second World War, Hitler even said that. He said, oh, matter of fact, let me just get the quote real quick. I'm going to come back to Genesis 11. Where did he say? He said, the Jews are the gold America stole, something like that. So it's heavy. This is what's happening. So it's mass deception and mass revelation happening in these last days. And you need to know history. You need to know why. You need to know what time you're in. Jews, wake up. He stole God's jewels. Quote. Yeah, they make it difficult to find because, they don't want this really to be said and all put together with the scriptures. See, it's not even popping up. But basically, where is it? Right, here it is right here. Hitler's confession. I'm going to read it. It says, Hitler said even in his death, he will start World War III. One of his soldiers asked how. Hitler replied, the day mankind finds out what I was trying to defend this nation, Germany, from, then that's the day World War III will start. From that day, mankind will learn that I was trying to save my nation from the Freemasons, the Illuminati, the Jews. And the Jews, he means the Amalekites, not Israel. Israelites, sorry. Jewish. It says, for if the Americans wins the war, they will conquer the world and forever be slave to the Jews, and they will try to conquer God. You see? Do you know who America has in its possession? No, the soldier replied. The Americans has the jewels of God. The Americans have stolen God's precious jewels. What do you mean, his precious jewels? The soldier asked. Hitler said, America has stolen the Jews of God, his jewelry, the Negroes, the other true Hebrews, right? Natives and Latinos. So you see why, right? Because history is told by the victor, and the wicked have been winning all the wars for time and time again. So they rewrite history and they lie upon history. That's why they make it seem like Hitler was like when you're in school, right? They make it seem like Hitler was the devil, okay? He wasn't. When you learn about but they never tell you about Leopold. He man, it's crazy, bro. He murdered way more people than Hitler, bro, and they don't even talk about Leopold. That Edomite, what he did in Africa. Mutinizing people, cutting off their arms, cutting off their privy members, cutting off their tongue and ear, and all kind of crazy shit, bro. So there's a judgment coming to the wicked, and it's now, all right? And we're crying out daily, and we're hastening. We want this all to happen, you see. But see, all the wicked and the fake, they're like, oh, we don't want this to happen. Pray that this does. No. They're not in the will of the Lord. They're against the will of the Lord. Saki, I'm going to come to Genesis 11. Let me go to Habakkuk 2. And we're going to start at verse 1. All right. God answers the prophet. I will stand upon my watch, right? Because we're watchmen. And set me upon the tower. Heavy, right? Upon the tower. Now, when you go to Ezra's, right? Lord said, Ezra's 9. Second Ezra's. And all this is happening very, very rapidly now. It's not slowing down anymore. because we're praying. Lord's hearing our prayers, and whenever we come across this information, sometimes we'll get very sick out of nowhere. Like we'll get pains in our body because we're feeling the effects of all these things. Like the prophet said, his belly trembled when he heard of it. He heard of the news. That's like Habakkuk 3, verse 16. When I heard, my belly trembled, my lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness entered into my bones, and I trembled in myself, that I may rest in the day of trouble. When he cometh up unto the people, he will invade them with his troops, right? So the Lord, Armageddon is coming. Jehoshaphat, all that. 2 Ezra 9:1. And he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And how is the Lord visiting the earth? With judgment, man, with a sword, not peace. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things that from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. You see? So the end is being made manifest. Habakkuk 2:3. 2 says, Habakkuk 2:1, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it, where we're running our mouth in the direction of the prophecies of the Lord. The testimony of the Lord is the spirit of prophecy. This is a part of it as well. For the vision is yet, see, the most important thing, that's why what we focus on is the heart, is the spirit, is ourselves. But this also is important as well, you see. Because Lord, he's getting us prepared and ready to inherit the earth, to rule the nations with a rod of iron. This is that rod of iron, this word, this Bible. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. You see, it's speaking and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yet also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, right? Because in the law it says you're not supposed to move the ancient landmarks, which that's what the wicked have done, you see. And is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people, right? They want all the kings, they want all the countries to be for them, you see. So there's a war between the east and the west. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him, right? That's that third world war, that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that layeth himself with thick clay, right? I bought yet, which is debt. And all these other nations have America's debt, Babylon's debt as well, but they're dropping it, you see? They're dropping that debt, you see? Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for violence of the land, and of the city, and of all that dwell therein. And a lot of people don't know that America is Babylon the Great. It's too much truth for them, They want to act like, oh, it's not in the Bible. United States isn't in the Bible. It is parabolically, you see. This scriptures is written in code. Job 12:6. I'm probably going to come back to Habakkuk 2. This is Job 12:16. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. You see that? He leadeth counselors away spoiled, right? Spoils of war. And maketh the judges fools. You see? So this is exactly what the Lord is doing. Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will, right? So Lord, he's turning these kings against each other. Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. You see that? So going into Genesis 11, the tower of the BRICS, Genesis 11 and verse 6. 5. And Yahweh came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one. You see? They're becoming one. And they have all one language. And this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. Go to, let's go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. Right? And when you don't understand what someone's saying, it brings confusion. You misinterpret things. You know, they might say, hey, can you please do this for me? And then they might be like, oh, what'd you say to me? And get offended because they don't know what you're saying. And then it breaks out in a fight. So the same thing's happening now. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. So the Lord, he's gonna scatter the wicked, and he's gonna gather the righteous, the elect. In the process of all this happening. Proverbs 20 and 26. Yahushua the king. A wise king scattereth the wicked, you see, and bringeth the wheel over them. All right. Daniel's 2 and verse, let's start at verse 43, right? Because you have these BRICS and like the G7, the East and the West, they're making agreements with each other to support each other economically, militarily, right? So it says verse 43, and whereas thou sawest iron mixed with merry clay, right? Iron is what's left of the strength of the Rome, iron of their military, the sword that God blessed Esau with. The sword, he didn't bless you Israelites with a gun, okay? Jake be idolizing and glorifying in guns, which is not your blessing, it's a curse, you see. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, right? The miry clay is the downfall of their riches, and their gold and silver is, getting weaker. It says, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, you see, but they shall not cleave one to another, right? They're not going to cleave. It's not going to be their marriage isn't going to last. It's not going to stand. Back in the ancient days, they would marry their daughter or marry someone or marry their son to a certain kingdom to form an alliance through marriage, through blood. And it never stuck. Same thing now, But they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. And in the days of these kings shall God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. The divine kingdom. This is our Father's kingdom. It says, for as much as thou sawest a stone was cut out of the mount without hands, right? You see how shy the elect, us lively stones, and that it break in pieces the iron, right? Because we're not of this world. His kingdom is not of this world. We're not of this world. And it break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold. The great power hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is certain. It's certain. And the interpretation thereof sure. You see, so that's certain. You see? So this is what you have taking place. Habakkuk 2 in verse 9. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, you see? And it's heavy because even like just everyone's trying to be the highest. Everyone's trying to be the boss and the high. Everyone wants the high seat and to be the king of the hill, but all those that have that spirit are being abased. They're being abased, and they're about to be even more abased and brought down, because the only thing that's being exalted is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth the town with blood, and establish the city by iniquity. You see? Behold, is it not of the Lord of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall weary themselves for very vanity? For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea. Beautiful. So this is what you have taken place. The Lord is in control of all these things. The Lord is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. And we know that it is near, because we're in the spirit. And it's sad because you'll have these Christians, and they'll try to get these deep breakdowns of what exact day it is, and well, the Lord said he'll just show in the time. It's just they don't know what's going on either, because the Lord says he's gonna come like a thief in the night. So he's confounding everybody. So it's just so heavy, man, what's going on, because not everyone has the Holy Spirit like that. So they don't understand that no man knows a day or hour or time but the Heavenly Father, not even Yahweh Shai. So it shows you how people are trying to exalt themselves above the office and seat of Yahweh Shai. And that's why they're not being exalted. They're not given this power, because they're not lowering themselves and uplifting Yahweh Shai. John 18:37. Pilate therefore said unto him, Art thou a king then? Yahweh Shai answered, Thou sayest that I am a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice. And that's what we are in these last days. We are the voice crying out in the wilderness, prepare ye the way, make straight for Yahweh Shai. Because he's coming out of his habitation to visit the earth. And I'm going to close off with these two scriptures, because we have these fruit in the time of this visitation of the Lord. The Lord is visiting the earth which he made. Sirach 18:20. Before judgment examine thyself, and the day of visitation thou shalt find mercy. You see? Wisdom of Solomon 3:7. In their time of their visitation they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. You see? So where those sparks, where those kindles of fire? The Lord said, those that obey the law shall kindle justice as a light. You see? Wisdom of Solomon 3 and verse 11. Verse 10. But the ungodly shall be punished according to their unimaginations. Right? Why do the heathens imagine a vain thing? They set themselves against the anointed. Psalms 2. It's all come to pass. It's happening fast, quick, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken the Lord. For whoso despiseth wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and their hope is vain. Their labor unfruitful, and their works unprofitable. Their wives are foolish, and their children wicked. Their offspring is cursed. Wherefore blessed is the barren that is undefiled, which hath not known the sinful bed. She shall have fruit in the visitation of souls. You see? Visitation of souls. So this is just an update of what's happening, what's going on. And it's going to keep on increasing. It's going to keep on getting more heavy. Just keep praying for a few days. The Lord's hearing us. Those that are doing his will, he heareth us. He hears not sinners. Those that have repented, he's listening to us. He's shortening the days. He's speeding the times for us. Or no flesh be saved, man. Our redemption draws nigh. Look up. And keep seeking after the Lord in these times. All praises, glory, honor, and fear, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahar, Kakwadash, Abba, Ball, and Shalom.
Is there no one else?